the ruling party at the moment, PDP, will be making way for AT that won the election into government house. Now, of course, they should be in the midst of preparations and handing over the whole transition process. But the last time I checked, I think at the meeting that was held, it doesn't seem that everybody was present, and there were some arguments as to not being ready for the meeting. No matter, because I think a member of the transition committee, the Joint Transition Committee, Prince Kasim Afebwa, APC chieftain, was at that meeting. So, and he's our guest this morning. A fine morning to you, Prince Afebwa.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Indeed, our pleasure. Now, clarify that whole area for me, please. Is the transition process going smoothly? You will know much better, but I was hearing something about there being, should it be arguments or a conversation as to the incompleteness of documents to help the process. How did it go?
Well, we haven't concluded our assignment. We are still meeting with the relevant stakeholders with a view to getting a richer information concerning the status report of the state. The government of the day, ab initio, seemed very ill-prepared, to receive us, because perhaps they were thinking that a candidate of their party will win the election. So they never expected that the opposition party in the state, the APC, would defeat their candidate. So the preparations they made was sort of a seamless transition from one PDP governor to another PDP governor. Now that it became an APC victory, you can see some kind of very shoddy job, some kind of hasty job, incomplete and very haphazard kind of documentation in the name of paperless administration that they touted so much about. But of course, that the civil service rule in Nigeria requires that there has to be filing system. Whether you are doing paperless, you have to derive your data from the primary source. You have to refer to memo. I'm referring to memo SYZ on this subject matter and all of that. So when you are running a paperless administration, whether e-service, whether e-government, or e-anything, e-society, you must have a base, and that base is actually your filing system. So we have attended a couple of meetings with the relevant representative of government. We've asked questions, we've raised concerns, we raised queries where it is necessary, and they promised that they were going to avail us quite a number of documents, but we are not actually satisfied with the quality and quantity of the documents they have supplied thus far.
Okay.
There are too many obvious, areas that are lacking transparency, that are lacking accountability and probity, as the case may be. We have seen their financials. We have raised concerns, but of course, as a body, as a committee, we are going to prepare our own reports and submit to the incoming governor. And from there, we'll take up, the other issues that we have observed. We'll take them up. We are meeting with the relevant stakeholders, the security apparatus. Yesterday, we met with the Commissioner of Police. We are going to meet with the DSS, Civil Defense, and quite a number of others, so that we know state of the state of Edo prior to the inauguration of the governor-elect.
So generally speaking, what are some of the key pieces of information that will be expected at a meeting, a transition meeting such as this?
We wanted a situation where the government will be open enough with respect to how they spent taxpayers' money.
Okay.
Money that accrued to the state from the
Okay, it's stuck for a while there. Just trying to get from Prince Afegwa what exactly they were looking forward to, but were disappointed by
Sorry,
not
I
seeing.
think so.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
you're back online now. Go ahead, please.
Okay. So we expected to know how the government expended revenue allocation from federal allocation, from 30% derivation, from internally generated revenue that has increased according to them. We've seen a trajectory of the accruals, almost 1.6 trillion in the last 8 years, according to them, thereabout. And despite that kind of resources, we also see an accumulated debt of about 462 billion, taken off from 43 billion that they inherited in 2016. And they told us that the state has not borrowed any money in 8 years, and that what we see is the volatility of the exchange rates prior to 2016, and the debt of the state now had to increase to 462 billion. And so we are making a blanket statement in some of our submissions that no bank, nobody should come forward to tell us that Edo State is owing a kobo. Since the government of the day has stated that there are no borrowings, no debts incurred in the process aside from the one he inherited. So that would be a takeoff point. And again, we also wanted a breakdown of some of the issues they raised. If you said, for example, you said you have 40 uncompleted projects, it's our responsibility to know how far those projects have gone. Is it 20% completed? Is it 80% completed? How much have you expended on them? How much are the commitments that we are expected to defray if we are to commence or to complete those projects? But just writing very vague reports that you have 40 uncompleted projects, the status of which we are not aware of, also beggars the question. So the government, I think it was much in a hurry to just hand over to us very wishy-washy reports because they never expected that APC will win. If it were to be PDP, it would be Padi report. But now that it is APC, they see a clearer need or a greater need to interrogate all of the issues they have presented. They call them 5 thematic pillars. 5 thematic pillars that are neither here nor there. In one of our meetings, I had to raise concern that we are tired of listening to literature review. Okay. We are not interested in literature. We want to know how much you have received within the period, and how did you expend these resources? Okay. What are the projects that...
One moment, please.
What is the cost of this project?
One moment, please. One moment, please. I'll return to the subject immediately. Just to announce that there's a presidential grants and loans scheme for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises will be holding, and it's at the Abuja Arts and Culture Center, and we're joining them. But programming continues here, and for those on the terrestrial aspect of our broadcast, they can always pick us up on YouTube, as well as those in diaspora. Okay, so that's just to get that out of the way, Prince Kazeem Afegwa. Now, how disrupting is this? Because if it seems, and I say I use the word seems, that they are not able to give you the kind of cooperation and sharing that would be required in a committee such as yours, a joint transition committee. How disrupting is that? Because I'm asking that against the backdrop of when indeed the new governor is sworn in and his administration takes off, they probably will be able to find out a lot. After all, you can run, but you can't hide, is the maxim, right?
Yeah, whether they like it or not, on Tuesday, November 12th, there will be a brand new government taking off the commencement of a 4-year tenure. And that will also give us the opportunity to dig into hidden documents or hidden parts as we speak. From the little we have seen, there is too much of opaqueness, no lack of transparency in terms of openness with respect to documents and financial details of transactions. We have raised query. There are quite a number of platforms, projects that were carried out using Edo State money as collateral from the stock market, and when they come, they build, they sell midway, and you without seeing any equity contribution from the state government. Ab initio, the resources are from the state, but along the line, the state will just disappear. And then they now tell you that this property, these projects are personally driven by individuals who are investors in the state economy. There are quite a number of queries. There are a lot of questions to be answered. The same way that we will be asking those questions, we will also be letting the public know how far Governor Obaseki drove the state in terms of performance. And we're also going to let them know the kind of resources that came into the state and how he expanded with those resources, to the point that Edo State is heavily indebted. Number 3 in the hierarchy of states in Nigeria in terms of indebtedness. That is the statistic from the Debt Management Office. And so there's too much of hoopla, around the Edo geographic space in terms of digital government, telling us that you want to drive Edo economy to a $1 trillion, $100 billion economy and all of that. But when you compare what's on ground with what's on paper, they are far apart. Edo is very beautiful on paper in terms of the demographics, in terms of what they present to us as details of what they have done so far. You will almost compare Edo State to maybe UK. But on ground, Edo is rotten. Potholes infested roads, poor health facilities, and so many other infrastructural decay that are begging for attention. Even the ones that they are commissioning as we speak are uncompleted projects that ought to have been completed.
Okay.
So leaving us with a huge commitment in terms of how to dispense with all of those uncompleted projects. Only today, as I speak to you now, they want to sign an MOU with Cedar Crest Hospital with respect to the Stella Obasanjo rebuilt hospital. It's trying to renovate and expand Stella Obasanjo Hospital, as if Edo people are not professionals when it comes to the health sector. The specialist hospital built by Adam Soshomele was handed over to Obaseki's friends from other parts of the country, not Edo people. They are running it on a lease basis. Made that hospital to be beyond the reach of the ordinary Edo person. A reason that formed part of the motivation of building the hospital has already been defeated by making it an elitist hospital, which was not the motive behind the building of that particular hospital. So, like as we speak now, Cedar Crest is going to enter into an MOU, a PPP with Stella Obasanjo, and I'm just going to use this medium to inform them, alert them that they should please hands up, because from day one we are going to cancel that particular MOU.
Oh dear.
There are those people that can run hospital. The Stella Obasanjo Hospital ab initio was built by Lucky Ghanaian administration. If he is trying to expand it and all of that, that's good, but it must be run by Edo State professionals, not handing over hospital to outsiders and make it like a business concern to funnel the pockets of those who do not have their stake in the state. So this is one of several other issues. The Radisson Blue Hotel, We all knew that they took 25 billion from the stock market using Edo State as the collateral. Now they have sold it to some other business interest, and they are telling us in the report they presented to us, you don't see Radisson Blue featuring at all. Osiomo Power Plant, the same thing. Modular Refinery in Ologbo, the same thing. And quite a number of others. And I'm sure you are aware that the Accountant General and three other persons are with the EFCC now because they were making frantic efforts to make huge withdrawals from the 14.6 billion naira agricultural loan and all,
Wow.
agricultural bailout fund, kind of. So there are quite a number of issues, and I'm happy that the EFCC has stepped in. The information we have, the documents we have, we will hand over to EFCC to dig deeper into the mold and ensure that there is value for money for everything that Governor Basaki did when he was the governor of the state. But anything outside that will not be welcome, will not be tolerated by Edo people. We are going to be standing in to make a difference because we promise that a new Edo is rising. So we have to do things differently. Openness, transparency, and accountability will be the key words.
Okay. You know, when I asked some time earlier how disruptive this might be towards a smooth, undertaking, transition, I was just thinking that, well, this is usually what happens. Well, maybe I shouldn't say usually. It has been known to happen that an incoming administration is coming in to fix a lot of problems. Even at the federal level, we've heard that the previous administration left so much undone that needed to have been done, and now it falls to the lot of the incumbent administration. So I imagine that's very much the spirit in which this project shall be tackled as well, even if the transition committee, for the consideration of the incoming governor and his team, even if they haven't got all that they have, they will be they probably have plans of their own and will not let this frustrate them, because people will, I imagine, tolerate the explanation only for a very short while that so much was not done or was done wrongly by the past administration. Surely you are aware that the position is going to be from the point of view of the electorate, but you are in charge now. That's why we put you there, to fix all of these things.
Well, it's a good challenge, and we'll measure up to that. Our governor-elect is someone who has his own, source and sources of revenue as an individual. So he will not bother himself, dwelling so much on state pulse to enrich himself. No. He's a humble, easygoing guy who has a heart for his people. I know that part of the campaign we rolled out during the electioneering period was to inform Edo people that we were done with Lagos cowboys, those who are economic predictors and buccaneers who are coming to feast on the state and deal a blow to our collective patrimony. Having succeeded to defeat them in good measures, having taken the fight to the electorate, having convinced the electorate, the responsibility and the onus is now on us to look at the problems and find solutions that will be time-tested, to confront those problems. And if I tell you that the challenge is not going to be a huge one, I will be telling lies, because road infrastructure in Edo State is quite worrisome. Health institutions, the same thing. General hospitals are in a rotting state. Education in the name of Edo Best is nothing to write home about. And so now that we are beginning to interrogate, the specifics, we are beginning to see too much of Obubuyaya. In local language, we call it Obubuyaya, but in English, it is the more you look, the less you see.
Okay.
And we don't want such kind of narratives. We want to be able to do that which we have promised. The governor-elect, when he comes into office from day one on Tuesday next week, is going to hit the ground running. He's got quite a number of policy framework policy initiatives that he will introduce. He has told us that he's going to declare emergency in the health sector, in the security sector, and in the education sector. Edo must regain its lost glory, the essence of our homogeneity of purpose, the essence of our solidarities across different ethnic configurations. All of this will help to promote harmony and some kind of oneness and unity in driving the collective vision that will take Edo to the next pedestal.
Okay,
So,
let me bring on the caller. Let me bring on our first caller. I beg your pardon. Good morning, Mr. George.
Theory. And greetings to Prince Afebwa. Prince Afebwa, I have to say congratulations to you and your team for the good job you did.
Thank you very much.
And a good sense of organization that you displayed to get that victory. Please, through you, I want to convey a message to the governor-elect that we congratulate him and expect him to deliver on his promises. One candid advice I want to give through you to him is that he should look at River State, what is happening between Fubara and Wike, and must ensure that such does not happen in Edo State again. I have gone through the length to support him. He may not be aware, but we will not want to see a situation where affairs degenerate to what is happening in River State now. There are some other states betrayals have happened. I'm not saying he should be a puppet to Comrade Oshomole, but we don't want to see the kind of thing that is happening in River State in Edo State. He should please face his job. I will be the first person to go against him if we see that kind of a thing is trying to rear its head in Edo State. Comrade Oshomole is not the type that will be overbearing on him.
Okay.
We know that he is a man that has been tested in our state. We are not saying the governor should, it should be his puppet or everything he says is what he must do. No. But we know that Oshomole is not like that. The governor must not do what I am seeing in River State. If he does that, I will be the first to oppose him.
Okay, Mr. George, thank you very much. Appreciate your call.
Well, can I respond?
Yes, please.
Okay, let me thank the caller, Mr. George, for giving me this kind of very selfless advice. And let me also convey to him that the governor-elect is not one that is combative, is not one that is disrespectful to both the young, the old, and the average Edo person. He is one person who is thoroughbred and who understands the nuances of living a communal lifestyle as Africans and by extension as Nigerians. What binds us together is actually our cultural linkages, our affinities, both political and social, and our readiness to pursue a cause for the common good. So this idea is very much in place when you look at Senator Monday Okpebolo, the governor-elect. So we are not going to be detained by thinking that there will be a River State scenario in Edo State. God forbid. From the little I have seen of him and from the much that I know of him, is one person who is very humble and who also understands how to say thank you for the good you have done to me.
Okay.
And that thank you will be reflected in the quality of projects he will be able to do for Edo State.
Okay.
I had a very detailed interaction with him just yesterday, and I was impressed by the kind of things he wants to start almost immediately once he takes over on Tuesday.
Okay, that's the incoming governor.
Yes.
Okay.
Incoming governor.
I beg your pardon, Prince. Sorry, let me bring on Reverend Dominic, who has been waiting for a while. Good morning, Reverend.
Good morning, Chief Yori.
Okay.
Good morning, Chief Kasim.
Okay.
Thank you.
Please go ahead, Reverend.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, go ahead, Reverend.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Please, I want to say congratulations to Chief Kasim and his company that they won the election. Congratulations. But Chief
Thank you very much.
I want to say this for the interest of our nation. I've told you I give patriotic contribution to this nation. I don't support any party any longer. I have heard Chief talk about the transition committee. I want to take you to hear this, that the election is over. To a better Edo, they should pipe down and cool down and calm down and take over the government. There's nothing hidden in government when you are now the head of the government. There's no way this outgoing government will give you everything you want. That's Nigerian politics. But you come down and stop antagonism and take over the government and have in their mind to do better than the man leaving the office. There's something I watched in channels last night that broke my heart. Chief Okube, the way he was talking down on Buhari government 8 years, punched my heart. Why should we always talk down about the last government and put the whole blame on the last government instead of trying to improve whatever we've done? Whether you like it or not, Chief Kasim, Adam Soshimole cannot support themselves from this outgoing government. Kasim and Adam Soshimole told us that this man governing Edo now, that's about to leave by nation, was the best hand, was a technocrat. That's what they told us. And we bought it. Talking now, give me some concern. Election is over. Campaign is over. The only thing we have to do now is to find a way to govern this nation. Why? Both from north, south, and east and west, we are going through economic challenges. The only thing somebody will do to support Mr. President now is to give good governance in this subnational. Because there's something Mr. Tinubu will never do in Edo State or Lagos State. He's like a helicopter over everything now. But very good governance is in the state. Things work well. So let the chief stop campaigning and calm down. Next week they take over the government. Whatever they want to find in the finance, so that Edo will be united for good governance. Number two, what just said is obvious. By the way Chief Kasim is saying now, they will dictate for this coming governor. And that's impacting in Nigerian state politics. What just is anticipating will happen. Because I've seen the way Kasim is analyzing things as if he's the incoming governor. But if they can give the young man a breathing space, he can govern by his own understanding. And let there be peace in Nigeria. We've had it bad enough. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Reverend. Okay, Prince Afegua, I'll take a quick break. Just in case there was any of that you wanted to respond to, we'll be right back. So please do stay with us.
Experience the race here. U.S. presidential election. TVC News in partnership with Voice of America brings America Choice to you live from the first vote to the critical count.
Make no mistake, we will win.
I believe we can win.
Understand what's happening across the United States of America on election day and days after. Watch with the most trusted name in news with Abida Lawal and VOA correspondents across America bring you detailed reports and analysis of election in America. The America Choice, Tuesday, November 5, 2024, live on TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello, TVC Communications, how can I help?
What makes TVC the right choice for my business?
Excellent question, sir. Let me share some exciting facts with you.
Start your day on TVC Entertainment with Wake Up Nigeria, a family and lifestyle show. Your view empowers women globally.
It's your view, let it count.
Entertainment Splash delivers the hottest celebrity trends. On TVC News, we keep you informed with breaking news and in-depth analysis of events shaping the world.
I will continue to speak the truth.
TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. delivers the most important stories of the day Max FM, your hit music radio station, captivates listeners daily across Lagos and Abuja, making every commute more enjoyable. Adaba 88.9 FM is not left out, as it is the voice of Southwest. And on TVC Digital, we reach to million viewers daily. All together, pulls in over 17 million viewers daily. Contact us on 0707 272 8338 or marketing at tvccommunications.tv. Partner with TVC Communications today. Let's grow together.
Welcome back, and our guest is Prince Kasim Afegbua, APC chieftain, and we're looking at the transition, process, meetings and arrangements, preparations to the incoming APC governor in the place. And Prince Kasim has been telling us that, it's happening, but it hasn't been the smoothest of operations. And just before we went on break, Reverend Dominic had called in and was observing that, look, the elections are over. Is there any room for us to see how we can get some harmony as we continue with the job at hand? But in the meantime, Mr. Joshua in Irewolede has also called in. Good morning to you, Mr. Joshua.
Uncle, good morning.
Thank you.
And good morning to your guest.
All right, then.
I always enjoy what he has to say every time. And congratulations to his political party. This situation, Uncle, brings me to the government structure that we're running, where this situation where the elections are over, the executive governor still has the exclusive power to run the state affairs for the next 3 months, which is a constitutional provision. But there is a gap there. You see, in this situation now where his political party loses the election, and then he has to make up for the money they have spent, he's going to dip his hands into the state coffers. And you see, most times I ask myself, it's not about EFCC chasing after treasury looters. The point is, where can we cover the gap where it becomes a bit difficult for people to even steal? That prevention in this area is better than cure. But in this situation, I think the people, the lawmakers and everyone needs to look at that area. That once an election is over, that period of transition, I think the transition committee that is going to work with the government in place should have an input into disbursement. Because this state will just run dry now. Unfortunately, the governor will come in, and the people will be heaping demands on the governor, asking him to hit the ground running, and he has no money. The state is dry. Because for 3 months, anything can happen. The entire treasury of that state can be wiped off.
All right.
That is it.
But so Mr. Joshua
is now going to start on a very hard ground. So I think something should be looked at to cover up that loophole.
Okay, but Mr. Joshua, I didn't want to interrupt your flow. Yes, when you said that the incumbent governor, might dip his hands into funds, and that is a danger, you have to agree that was unsubstantiated conjecture. You're just guessing that. I mean, we can't take it as a given, or can we? I just thought I'd point that out. I didn't want to interrupt.
We always a given. The presidents are there. I'm from Kogi State. You know what's happening to the governor there, despite the fact that he passed the state to the same APC person. You know the antecedents.
Okay. If you want to insist that it's a given, but thank you for calling in. I hope Prince Kasim Afegbua doesn't see it like that, because you must substantiate whatever you're saying with proof. Prince Afegbua, we can't. Yeah, did you want to say something?
To Reverend Dominic.
Okay, go ahead, Prince.
And Joshua, there's a common string in what is with respect to elections are over. Elections are not over. They have shifted the battlefield, the political field, to the law courts. The PPP have filed its own petition and waiting for a response, and in that will begin to address the gritty. But the beauty of it is that in all they filed at the court, at the tribunal, without prejudice to what the courts will later when they begin to interrogate the issues, they considered victory to APC. In their own records, from what gathered from the polling units up to local government level, they concede that the APC won the election. The tabulated results are captured by INEC representatives. They also captured results as reported by the agents, and both they came out victorious. So for me, what they are going to the tribunal to do is just like an academic exercise. And we must commend INEC for remaining firm on the part of justice and this election. Oftentimes we condemn INEC, we complain of IRF, we complain of stuff like that. But when we have their agents, the polling units, and they are able to collate results, and the result reflects the opposite of what they wanted, they be magnanimous enough to accept defeat. APC won this election, within the PDP own situation room, within I situation room, and within APC situation room. So the next question will be, what are they looking at tribunal? They are just trying to fish or maybe ancillary factors, and maybe the Nigerian factor can upturn what was validly and legitimately handed over to APC as a mandate of Edo people. So we appreciate Edo people for voting for APC without let or hindrance. We also appreciate them that we are prepared to confront the tribunal, and we will be advancing very legitimate, reasons why that victory must stand. But again, politicians must learn to accept outcome of election, irrespective of the kind of emotions and sentiments they may want to convert. And if I derive inspiration from what Reverend Dominic is saying, it goes to suggest that, elections are over, we should forget the past and all of that. This is always the mistake we make. We must always begin to interrogate processes that lead to outcome. You cannot run a state for 8 years and we see financial infractions and lack of transparency in your conduct, and you are telling us not to raise questions. I am not speaking as the governor-elect. I am speaking first as a member of the APC, second as an insider, third as a member of the transition committee who has been availed certain documents that we have interrogated, we have dissected, and have come to the conclusion that the outgoing government was profligate, and embark on so many journeys of self-aggrandizement. And in weeks and months to come, given the opportunity, we will definitely see, greater details into what transpired in 8 years or in the last 4 years, to cut it short.
Okay, so but before you go further, I don't want to hold on interminably.
Sorry?
Prince in Abuja has called in. Good morning, Prince in Abuja.
Good morning to Chief Afagwa in your studio there.
Yeah, thank you.
I would like to first and foremost congratulate the APC on their win in the election. And I would like to quickly reiterate that I did call in at some time back when he was a guest at your studio. And I did intimate him on the fact that we have a lot of Nigerian bright youth from Edo states who are scattered all over the world, who have at various times tried to actually give in their quota to the state. Now, he made a promise that this government is one that is youth inclusive in nature, and by God's grace, God has brought them into power. So I need him to, as a matter of fact, state categorically what they have on the table for youth. Because I myself, as an individual, I will see a situation where tomorrow I'm calling TVC, I'm not calling from Abuja, rather I'm calling from Edo, because my state has given me an opportunity to actually contribute my quota towards the growth issues, security issues in Edo State. Begs to say that the issues of lack of jobs in Edo State is one of the major issues. I know, yes, it's rampant in all over the states in Nigeria and all that, but Edo State has a lot that they can do to actually bring in youth into the system, having paid jobs that can take them off the street to be able to take away these youth restiveness and a lot of security challenges we have on the state. So I would want to hold them to your word, to his word, so that they can act on that, and let's see actions on it. Congratulations to them once again, and we're looking forward to a bright and better, prosperous Edo State after the over. Thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you, Prince. Prince Afebua, I know you were probably going to also comment on something another caller had called in on. I think that was Reverend Dominic, was it? If I'm not confused now, because... Yes.
I think I have landed on Reverend Dominic and Joshua. The Prince that I remember during campaigns he didn't call across to ask what we have for him. And I remember telling him, not just about sitting there and say, what do you have for them? Policy initiatives and framework must always call it and women, because they are the most vulnerable. And once you're able to jumpstart projects in different categories, you can provide jobs. Because if you ask people, or a simple economy, there are those who will think that the only way to jumpstart an economy that is in doldrum is for you to be productive infrastructure, renewal, building new schools, health sector, education, and all of that. All of these components will naturally involve youth participation. But this is going to be a government, based on my discussions with the governor, that to also have a roundtable, sit down with youths, and also generate ideas. It's not just about saying that there are no youths are not being how many of them are ready to take up certain productive engagement in terms of even learning special skills in POP making, building, in plastering, furniture making, and what have you. And those furniture. How many of them are ready to key into that area? It is not all about white collar jobs. People, the youths, must be ready to ensure that they are able to key into this specialized skills area, so that the hunger for their labor or for their skill will increase and will accommodate it. It will shock you to know that in Edo State and some other parts of Nigeria, if you want a good person who will fix your POP in your new house, you go to Togo or Ghana or Benin Republic. That shouldn't be. So there are going to be platforms of engagement for youths, and as time goes on, we'll be able to know how to compartmentalize youth participation. If you are building infrastructure, who are the people you are going to use? You are definitely going to carry artisans and the ordinary folks out there, those who are specialists in building, construction, weather, and so many other persons that will be involved in all of those construction work. So the governor-elect has promised that he will convert Edo to a furniture headquarters. He will make sure that he's able to, generate jobs using that intervention in those critical infrastructure area, and by so doing, empower the youth to also take up their own productive engagement with respect to the kind of skills they have to flaunt. You don't just create jobs for people. People must have skills, the relevant skills, to be able to do those jobs. So first thing first, we will sit on the round table, have interaction with them and all that. That's what he promised. As we speak now, he's already having some engagement with youth groups and civil society and what have you. So when he comes on board, it is his responsibility to be able to network all of this youth population and ensure that he's able to, engage them in the critical sector of the state economy.
Okay. You know what? I think we're going to have to leave it here because we really are very, very close to our time boundary. But I'd like to thank you, Prince Kasim Afegwa, for, well...
I would like to make a point that I think the media and other Nigerians should try as much as possible to try to prevail on politicians to always accept outcome of election results. The money they waste hiring lawyers to look for election victory in the law court can also serve to add value to society with respect to the youth that that the last caller mentioned, and some other aspects of our socio-economic life. If they tell you how much an SAN is going to earn for just pursuing litigations and all of that, they are often mind-boggling fees.
Okay,
but
I think your point has been taken, Prince.
The role of sportsman. They must show sportsmanship in the way and manner they go about it.
All
they
right.
know in their heart of heart, the PDP, that APC won this election hands down. Even by their own reports, we won.
All right. As I said, we really have to leave it here. But I want to thank you very much, Prince Kasim Afegwa, for coming on. And the point that you've just made last year, that a lot of expenses go into contesting elections, sometimes unnecessarily. So thank you once again for coming on the program this morning.
It's a pleasure always.
Indeed.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, so that's our program today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folare. Bye-bye for now.
Every weekday on Business Nigeria, we uncover the secrets of the financial world.
We analyze the stock market, shares, bonds, and the thrilling world of cryptocurrency.
Facts matter. Our team dives deep to separate facts from popular opinion.
We simplify complex government policies as it impacts your everyday life, helping you navigate the ever-changing financial landscape.
Watch Business Nigeria every weekday at 2 p.m. only on TVC News. First with breaking news.
Every major news story is with Benic perspective and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What
TVC News. First with breaking news.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Experience the race here. U.S. presidential election. TVC News in partnership with Voice of America brings America Choice to you live from the first vote to the critical count.
Make no mistake, we will win.
I believe we can win.
Understand what's happening across the United States of America on election day and days after. Watch with the most trusted name in news with Abida Lawal and VOA correspondents across America bring you detailed reports and analysis of election in America. The America Choice, Tuesday, November 5, 2024, live on TVC News, first with breaking news.